Hey, so Luis V asked a very important question. Should you be looking at external recording for a budget storage option when it comes to the Sony A7S III? Well, let's figure that out. Before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I'm still waiting for my Sony A7S III, and I'm sure you are as well. So I figured, let's talk about the camera and get excited for it, for when it comes. So Luis says that the Atomos Ninja 5 plus a 500 gigabyte SSD is cheaper, and you have all of the recording modes to go with it. You save time since you don't need a proxy, and you save storage space on your computer since you can edit straight from the SSD. So let's break that down. Why would you even want to use external recording with the Sony A7S III? Well, one of the main big features of external recording is that you get access to raw video recording. That's probably the main big selling feature of external recording when it comes to this camera. So you get 16-bit raw 4.2K up to 60 frames per second. And that's crazy. Raw video is insane. I got to play with it a little bit with the Blackmagic. And it's crazy being able to alter things, and raw is just really nice. But that's not like the main focus here. We're not trying to add features, we're just trying to save a little bit of money. So what do you get with external recording? Do you get all of the recording modes? No, you don't. You don't get all of the recording modes. In fact, when you are recording externally, the most that you can get is 4K, 422, 10-bit up to 60 frames per second. And it seems like you're maxing out at 60 frames per second no matter what. So you should know that one of the features that I was most excited about when it comes to the Sony A7S III is 4K at 120 frames per second. So you're not actually getting that when you are doing external recording. You're only getting up to 60 frames per second. So I don't know if it's really worth it, to be honest. Let's take a look at what you do get with internal recording. So in 4K H.265 or H.264, the H.264 is going to be higher quality. You're getting 422, 10-bit up to 120 frames per second. If you drop that down to 1080, then you're able to get up to 240 frames per second. So you're getting those extra frame rates when you're doing internal recording. But you're only able to do internal recording with SD cards and the CF Express Type A cards. Now, even if you don't want 120 frames per second, is external recording with this camera even a cheaper option? Is this the budget option that we haven't learned about? Yes and no. That would depend on if you have a Ninja 5 already. If you do have a Ninja 5, this is 100% the budget option. Again, if you don't care about 120 or 240 frames per second. If you don't care about those frame rates, this is the budget option. Depending on the brand that you go, at least for 500 gigs, Angelbird is going to be $200 for the 500 gig SSD. Samsung with the 860 Pro is going to be $75 for 500 gigs, which is insane. That's like ridiculously cheap. And then a reader is going to be $75 for the USB-C, $60 for USB 2.0, or $18 if you go with StarTech. So yeah, this can definitely be a very, very budget option when it comes to storage, especially if you're going with Samsung. You can get 2 terabytes for $280, which is ridiculously cheap. CF Express Type A cards, on the other hand, 80 gigs is going to be $200, and 160 gigs is going to be $400. You know how many cards you're going to have to get to film for an entire day? A lot. Let alone the card reader itself is $120. SD cards, on the other hand, are more affordable than CF Express Type A cards, and they're gonna unlock a vast majority, like 99% of recording modes. They are a little bit cheaper. Even if you go with the most expensive SD cards, like the Sony Tough 128 gigs, that's gonna be $210. You're getting so much more storage than the CF Express Type A cards for about the same price. But if you need more than that, the Pro Grade 256 gig is only $240, and that's a lot of storage. Even the best card reader for SD cards is only $80. So yes, after all of those numbers, everything, external recording with something like a Ninja 5 is the most budget option. Even at its most expensive, even if you use name brand Angelbird SSDs, you're getting 500 gigs for $200. So that is the most budget option for recording if you already have the Ninja 5. If you don't have a Ninja 5, this is not budget whatsoever. The Ninja 5 in itself is $600. So you have to add $600 to any of these prices, and $600 in itself is more expensive than any of these cards, or multiple of these cards. So in order for external recording to be a budget-friendly option, you have to already have a Ninja 5. Would I suggest you even use external recording with the Sony A7S III? Probably not. I'm definitely gonna play around with the raw video recording because 16-bit raw is, that sounds amazing. It sounds so good. And if it is good, I would highly recommend it. I probably wouldn't recommend it for every single situation, but if you want the absolute highest quality video, then raw video is going to provide the highest quality possible with a lot of flexibility because it's gonna have so much data in there. It's gonna be very, very data intensive, and it's gonna be amazing. If you don't know, raw video is pretty much the exact same as a raw photo. So if you ever taken a photo in RAW, then you know how much information you can recover from the highlights, from the shadows. There's just so much more information at hand that you can play with. And this works exceptionally well when it comes to grading video, putting on really, really, really harsh color grades and really drastically changing things. RAW video is really amazing for that. So if we go back to the very first comment at hand, the whole reason for this video, the question, why isn't anyone talking about external recording when it comes to the Sony A7S III? Is it a budget option? Is that your best option? It's not a budget option unless you already have an Atomos Ninja 5 and you're just buying the SSD for it. And it's probably not the best option for you since you're only able to get up to 60 frames per second of recording. You're kind of limiting your recording modes with external recording. And I don't know if you would really want to do that in the first place. Just get an SD card, if anything. At least that way you'll get 120 frames per second. If you are interested in raw video recording, I would highly recommend getting an external recorder because raw recording is going to take this camera to the absolute next level and really bring out its full capabilities. So I'm so excited to try that, and thank you, Luis, for even bringing this up because I don't think I knew that this camera could do raw recording externally. So thank you so much because now I'm really excited and I really want to play with it. But that's it. That is the whole video. So if you have any ideas for me, any comments, anything that you want me to talk about, leave it in the comments below. Like the video if you did end up liking the video, and subscribe because why not? That's it. All right.